Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of the Nerdpocalypse Podcast. I'm your host, Jay. I'm here with my co-host, Micah.
Hello.
All right, guys, we're back. This episode, we have plenty to talk about. Very important news when it comes to Sony. So let's jump right into it. Checked out this week. Micah, you watched, I assume, just the first episode of We Own the City?
Yeah, the first episode of We Own This City is out. And yeah, David Simon just does not like cops, guys. He really doesn't. Or he might like them, but he really hates the crooked ones. Like, he really hates them. And I admire him for that. We should all hate crooked cops. We Own This City is an American miniseries based on the nonfiction book of the same name by Baltimore Sun reporter Justin Fenton. The miniseries was developed and written by George Pelicanos and David Simon of The Wire. It's a 6-episode series, and it is detailing the rise and fall of the Baltimore Police Department's Gun Trace Task Force. Mm-hmm. Now, this happened not too long ago, folks.
No,
like
this
happened like after Freddie Gray, and because they make mention of Freddie Gray, and how the cops kind of have to be on their best behavior, which
good luck with that.
Having to say that is disheartening for me. Look, it's David Simon, it's Baltimore. It's I'm all in. I am glad that something like this is being shown on a national level, mm-hmm. To show corruption in some of its highest forms by people who are supposed to protect us. It's really good. It's really good. The one thing I have, the one nitpick that I have, is that I'm from Baltimore, and it's a people from Baltimore speak a certain way, and
yeah, we do.
There are certain like Baltimore isms and stuff, and it feels like you ever watch Saturday Night Live and the sketch of the Californians, where the big joke is like they're always talking about how to get places, and they always use like hyper local California landmarks and terms like, you got to go on the 405, bro, and this, that, and the other to get to Venice Beach. This is like that's what they're doing here, right? Like, oh, I gotta go over down. I gotta go get some. You want some crab chips from Utz? Like,
it's all right.
We just say you want some chips, yo. Like,
right.
Like it's wild, right? Like, oh, gotta go down to the Alameda. Oh, and yeah, I gotta go. I'm about to live near the Alameda. I'm about to go get some pit beef. Like, yeah, all right, yo. Like, there's a dude wearing a Baltimore Blast shirt, yo. Like, nobody in Baltimore wears a Baltimore Blast shirt, guys.
Does the Baltimore Blast still exist?
I have no fucking idea.
They're a soccer team, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you had to explain that because nobody knows and nobody cares. Like, even people in Baltimore. John Bernthal is really Baltimoreing it up with his accent.
How does he do? Because he's from DC originally.
He's from DC.
I feel like he should be able to get this like pretty good.
It's fine. You can tell it's put on, but I think you can tell it's put on just because I know what he sounds like, and two, like, he's putting it on.
Right.
You know what I mean? All these black dudes, yeah, they sound like Baltimore black dudes, yo. Like, they really do. They all sound
local
like
recruitment.
That's what it feels like. They got the accent down, but it's a really good show and it's really interesting. And for me, it's going to be appointment television every Monday.
Yeah, like it's funny because my wife was like, it was late one night. I guess the night it premiered. I guess it was Monday, and I was just exhausted. I was like, I just don't feel like watching it, like, because I really wanted to like sit down and like really get into it. But at that time, I was just like, I was just fucking too tired, and I didn't have time to watch it the rest of the week. So I'm kind of bummed that I didn't have a chance to see it, so we could like actually talk about the first episode. But we'll chat more about it as we go along.
Yeah.
Are you caught up? Are you reasonably caught up on Tokyo Vice, or should we wait to talk about that after it's?
No, we should wait. I was going to watch some today, but work got in the way. So I've only seen the first 3 episodes.
All right.
And
You got like
all of them out. Like I know up to 7 are out.
Up to 7 is out. I think 8 comes out this upcoming week. So you got 5 hours of black box Japanese television to watch, and then we'll discuss. But for folks who are not watching Tokyo Vice on HBO Max, you should be. You absolutely should be. It is phenomenal. It's basically like, I won't say it's like Miami Vice, because that would be a ridiculous statement, because it's not the same perspective of shows, but it's an excellent sort of drama about the Yakuza. Like it's really good. And it like really, the Yakuza are more the main characters than the white journalist. Even though, it's about the book he wrote on the topic, it's much more focused on the actual Yakuza, which is cool. So you get this show that is hard focused on Japanese culture. And it's fascinating. Like it's really fascinating. Like those dudes are in a weird position between like the old world and the new world. It's really interesting. But that's all I've been really watching this week. So let's jump down into topics.
Ghostbusters Afterlife sequel was announced by Sony at CinemaCon. I never got a chance to get to watch Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Neither did I.
Did you check it out?
Nope.
I didn't watch it because like the ending was spoiled for me, because people and it's not people's fault. But yeah, the ending was spoiled for me, and it's just like, all right. And plus, I never really had the love for Ghostbusters that most people around my age have.
Right.
Like it just, like I saw Ghostbusters 2 before I saw Ghostbusters 1, and I really like Ghostbusters 2. I know everybody like hates Ghostbusters 2, but they hate it because it was like almost a carbon copy of Ghostbusters 1.
I didn't hate Ghostbusters 2. I like Ghostbusters.
Which one did you see first? Which one did you see first?
I definitely saw Ghostbusters 2 first.
Yeah, that's 100%. Why you don't hate it.
I didn't hate it. I was like, I enjoyed this movie. This movie is great. And then I saw Ghostbusters 1. I was like, I also enjoyed this movie. This movie was great. Like, yeah, I recognize that Ghostbusters 1 is a better movie. Like, it is a better movie. But I like Ghostbusters 2. Like, it's fun.
Yeah.
Like,
it's Vigo.
Movie. Yeah,
it's great. Vigo the Carpathian, man.
I've definitely seen Ghostbusters 2 more. That I 100%.
I used to geek out when they used the goddamn Nintendo arcade stick to control the Statue of Liberty, for Christ's sakes.
It also has, look, I don't give a fuck what nobody say. Ghostbusters 2, better music.
It does.
You can't fuck with that Bobby Brown song, Get out of here. Like, you can't. You can't. Like, look, I love Ghostbusters, but if we're talking about purely music, nah, Ghostbusters 2. It beats it. Easy. That's right. I said it. Ghostbusters 2, better than Ghostbusters 1. Small tagline if you only look at the music. But that song was awesome. Yeah, Bobby Brown was in his bag on that song. But yeah, this is fine. I'm not gonna. I don't have any like negative thing to say about it. I haven't seen it. Some fans I know, like hardcore fans, weren't in love with it. But when you say hardcore fans of Ghostbusters, you already told me everything I need to know. Like, they're not gonna like it comparative to, like, they just don't. Like, spoiler alert: a lot of hardcore Ghostbusters fans are very similar to Star Wars fans. They don't really like anything besides the original movie. Like, they just don't.
Well, a lot of hardcore fans of literally anything, right? A lot of
they don't want anything new.
Like I saw some article talking about how Mahershala Ali's blade is going to be very different from Wesley Snipes' blade when that movie comes out. And I looked at the comments and they were like, "Nope, it's gonna suck. Wesley Snipes is the OG blade. No one can do it better. He owns the role." And while I agree, I enjoyed Wesley Snipes in 2 of those movies. There's always room for differences. There's always room for things to,
one of those movies for me. I'm sorry.
Blade 2?
Blade 2 is fine. Blade 2 is fine. People who say it's better than Blade 1 are crazy, in my opinion.
I don't think it's better than Blade 1.
Fuck no, it's not, dude. And I love Guillermo del Toro. Get the entire fuck out of here. No, it's not.
I think it is. I think they're very different movies. Like, you can tell two very different people directed those movies. Like, they feel like one feels like weirdly grounded, and the other one feels like a Guillermo del Toro movie.
Yeah, it gets a little crazy at points. I mean, like, one, the CGI is horrendous in that second movie. And those the later sections of that film where he's like fighting the dude at the end, and they're like, "Oh, that was awesome." I'm like, "Yo, this is like the rubber band, man. It should look awful." Out of here. When the two ninjas show up at his fucking lair, and they're just like, "Ooh," like it looked awful. But that's not Del Toro's fault. I don't fault him for that. I like the story of Blade 2. I thought it was a cool story, and it was like a good way to sort of amplify that sort of universe. But I don't like things of like really generic sequel things where like he has to join a team and there's a ninja guy and there's a guy with a big hammer, and I was like, all right, we got it. Like this is so fucking stereotypical. Like it just not for me. It's not for me. I think we all agree Blade 3 was fucking horrendous. And nobody thinks that one's good.
Even Wesley Snipes didn't want to be on Blade 3. That's how bad that fucking movie was, man.
Yeah. Open your eyes. No. I'm not going to do that. CGI my eyes open. That nigga was wiling in that movie. Yo, he did not care.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I don't know why people think Blade 2 is better. I mean, you like what you like. Not for me. When I saw that in theaters, I was so hyped. And then it came out, I was like, it was okay. It's fine.
I like Blade 2. Blade 1 is better, though.
Yeah. I mean, there's some great... Blade 2 has some great moments. I think Blade 1 is overall a better movie. Like, don't get me wrong. Blade 2's got some fucking awesome moments. But, nah.
Yeah, Blade, the original Blade is what you use to, like, demo your sound system. Particularly your sound woofer, right?
Yep.
Like,
that's exactly what I did. The sound woofer I bought at a gas station. Hey, yo, you trying to buy this sound woofer? I am. How much is it? $250. Okay. What's the brand? Oh, it's no brand? That's cool. I bet it'll be high quality. Get the fuck out of here. How stupid was I? It was loud though. It was loud as fuck. He definitely stole that shit off a truck.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, okay. Ghostbusters Afterlife 2. Cool. That means I need to watch the first one. Clearly it was good enough that, it has garnered that much kind of support. So that's good. Good for them.
Yeah, good for them. Good for this guy, I guess. Justin Lin exits Fast Cross, aka the 10th Fast and the Furious movie. His exit puts Universal in a tricky and costly race to replace him. So on April 22nd, Vin Diesel posted a 19-second video to Instagram recapping the first week of production on Fast Cross, aka Fast X, aka Fast 10, the latest entry in the 21-year-old franchise.
That's what I was just going to say. Do you realize how old it is now? It can drink. It can drink. As a franchise, it can drink. It can have a Corona.
It can have a Corona and be part of the family.
That's crazy.
Which is wild. The latest entry in the 21-year-old franchise, in the clip, Diesel sidles up to Justin Lin to ask the film's director and co-writer how he's feeling at the end of the first week. As Diesel, all right, look, he's not going to be he's not going to be directing this. He will be producing it.
Right.
Is this a bad sign for this incredibly lucrative franchise that the guy who is essentially the guy who revitalized this franchise,
right,
is now stepping away from it?
From
the director.
I think it's a bit of a bad omen, because I feel like his movies are the best ones. I mean, easily.
Yeah.
It all depends. It all depends on who they get. It all depends on who they get. Do they bring back somebody like was it Jason Wan? I think he did one. Do they bring back F. Gary Gray? Like that'd be kind of cool. Like F. Gary Gray did 8.
He did 8 though. I didn't really care for 8.
I didn't care for the story of the having Dom away from the family, but I think that's just because Dom was away from the family, right? You know, like I don't know that that's necessarily a direction problem because it did have like some of the funner moments of like bringing the Shaw brothers in to like take, steal the baby out of the plane, or like it did have fun moments, and the like crazy magnets and shit like that, which was a cool, those were kind of cool moments. So maybe you could get somebody like F. Gary Gray to come back. Look, F. Gary Gray is going to make a solid movie. Like it may not be the most amazing one, but it's going to be a really solid, entertaining movie. So I don't know. I think it all depends on who they actually pick up to replace him.
Justin Lin is quoted as saying, "With the support of Universal, I have made the difficult decision to step back as director of Fast X, while remaining on the project as a producer." Lin's exit was reportedly amicable, and he chalked it up to creative differences. That's not a good sign. But leaving a multi-million-dollar franchise days into production has put Universal in the rare and unenviable position of finding a replacement in time to make their planned May 19th, 2023 theatrical release date. Universal did not comment. Yeah, man, you gotta... that sucks, man, because, like, you're gonna need somebody to kind of have vision for this. And if he thinks that creative differences are not, like, this franchise, you can do whatever you want, right? Like, they've literally done whatever they want. Like, it is the definition of freedom of creativity. And the guy who, revitalizes the franchise with the 5th iteration couldn't come to, like, either people are running out of ideas, or the idea is so stupid or so bonkers that he's just like, you know what? I don't need this. I'm super curious.
Now, I think like we had talked last week about, the name being revealed and all this other stuff. I think you had mentioned something about a quote from him saying that they wanted to bring it, or a producer or something saying they wanted to make it more realistic and like bring it back to its roots. Maybe that's what he wanted. And, Vin Diesel and other people were like, nah, we passed that. We well past that. Like, we went to space last time. Like, let's get moving. And maybe that's what they're aiming for, is something like, you got 2 more movies. Are you gonna bring it back to something more reasonable, or are you gonna go balls to the wall? So I don't know.
I mean, why not both, right? Like, do reasonable for the first one and then just go buck wild on the second one.
Yeah, that's not a bad plan. That's not a bad plan.
I mean, and just to kind of come full circle with everything. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, because
I don't think they know what they're talking about either, in fairness. Like, these movies are fucking nuts. So they're probably going to just do something really stupid. I mean, look, what is reasonable anymore, right? If Justin Lin brought them back into relevance in 5, didn't he do 6 as well?
I think he did 6. Let me find out.
Because 6 is the best one, in my opinion. I'm pretty sure he did. I think he did 5, 6, and then left, and then came back for 9.
Yeah. Justin Lin did 6. 6 was so fucking awesome, dude.
But like, okay, 6 had them taking on a tank on a highway. Like, if that's bringing it back to its roots, I mean, I'm okay with that level of the Fast and the Furious. Like, we don't have to, like, it don't have to be car races, my guy. Like taking on tanks on a highway is totally fine. Make it 2 tanks this time. I don't care. That scene where Tyrese jumps onto a moving car that Paul Walker is driving, as if like gravity didn't exist, or as if acceleration didn't exist. Like he jumped further than the car was going and landed on. I was like, he would have jumped and the car wouldn't have been there. Like that's not how physics work. Like you can't jump that fast. Like that was crazy. But they did that shit and it was a blast. And that's when Vin Diesel gained superpowers. He flew. And he flew. He saved Wonder Woman.
Yeah, he flew to catch his beloved wife that he has tremendous chemistry with.
Yeah, they never on screen together. They never on screen.
I've never seen two people more diametrically opposed in terms of sexual chemistry.
Yeah, they have none. They have
zero chemistry.
Zero chemistry. They're just two badasses.
Right, they're just two badasses, yo. Like they're just two road dogs. You know what I mean? Like I don't know.
Like I feel like that role, Letty's role, could have easily just been his sister. You know what I mean? Like it would have made more sense. Like you could have just had him like, oh, he met some like hot Brazilian woman like they did in this series, and he had a kid with her or whatever. Like, but making Letty his girlfriend like never made any sense. Like, it just didn't, dude. Like they don't have that chemistry at all.
No.
Like, if anything, Letty and Jordana Brewster or Michelle Rodriguez and Jordana Brewster, they should have switched roles.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, just make Jordana Brewster his girlfriend, and then let Michelle Rodriguez be his sister. It's fine.
Why not?
That should have been, like, that's probably what we'll find out later on, is a surprise. It was his sister all along. Something crazy. Who knows?
It was a good thing we never had sex then.
Because I didn't want to, and you didn't want to either, because everything was just too fast and too furious. So we just left it alone.
Man, 5, 6, and 7, like 5 for bringing the franchise, for introducing like this ridiculous world back into like the mainstream. 6 for being the just fucking fun, and then 7 for Paul Walker's exit. Like, you ain't gonna get no better than those 3, man. You really aren't.
That was the pinnacle, man. That was like boom, boom, boom. They hit them all 3 in a row. Perfect. And Lynn did all 3 of those?
No, James Wan did 7.
Right.
But Justin Lin did 6 and 7.
5 and 6.
5 and 6.
Yeah. Right.
Man. Back when movies were movies.
Yes. Back in the day. Okay. All right, next up.
Sony nabs Hawkeye director Rhys Thomas to direct a live-action Robotech film. The film is currently in development with a script by writing duo Art Markham and Matt Holloway, whose credits include Iron Man and Punisher Warzone. I like those 2 movies, with Mark Canton and Gianni Nunari set to produce. It's based on an 80s anime. Look, I guess my nerd credit is about to be revoked here. I'm not into big robots. Like if they don't turn into trucks and cars,
these turn into jets. They turn into jets.
I don't like big robot anime. I've never been a huge fan of like Gundam, Robotech. Like I've just never been a huge fan. Voltron, maybe, but like
that's crazy. Are you serious?
I've never been into big robot. I've never been into like mecha shit.
Yeah, that's fair. Like this was my first foray into anime. This and Speed Racer. I loved Robotech back in the day. Absolutely loved it. I would have to go back and like rewatch these, because I feel like they're way more mature than I ever realized when I watched them.
Oh,
like
all of them are. Like even shit that I used to. Okay, this is going to tell you a lot about me. I was into Sailor Moon, and Sailor Moon is way more like mature than you. Like it deals with like homosexuality and
really,
and yeah, like there are characters who, if you watch the Japanese version, like are are not coded as like lesbian, like they are lesbian, and they deal with things that teenagers would have to deal with.
That's
and America's when they brought it over for America, they was just like, nope, these two women are friends,
cool.
or
Close
this
friends.
woman, or this woman is a long-haired man. Like,
Get it out of here. Yeah, that's a real shame. But which is funny because in a lot of ways, Japanese culture is like pretty conservative, right? So it's kind of cool. Like their entire society leans far more conservative, not in a like crazy right wing way, but just more demure and conservative in that way. And meanwhile, in their anime, it's just like everything's going on. like they just like do it all, man. Who gives a fuck?
They need an outlet. Fucking these cartoons with their outlet, man.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. But look, I like this idea. The article says this is far from the first time a live action adaptation of Robotech has been attempted, with plans for a feature length film going as far back to 2007 with the likes of Tobey Maguire, Drew Crivello, Jason Netter, and Harmony Gold chairman Frank Agaram attached to produce the film for Warner Brothers. Sony would later secure the rights to Robotech in 2015, with James Wan originally attached to direct the full-length feature before dropping out to direct Aquaman. Look, I don't know that this will do well. It's going to need some like really good CGI. I would say the CGI in what was that big robots movie? Pacific Rim. Right? Yeah. Like the CGI in especially Pacific Rim 2 would work probably the best because they're kind of based on Gundams anyway. So but it's all like, future space shit too. So it's not just having them running around on the like regular Earth. So I don't know, like this Robotech toy that they have, the drawing that they have there is like, that's the one I had. Like he was awesome. He would turn into a jet and a robot. So, okay. It's like, I don't know, man, that seems like, it seems like something that should have been made a while ago, obviously, but it also seems like something in the hands of the right person, it could do really well, but it's also in the hands of Sony. So,
I mean, I know we like to dunk on Sony.
And we will later.
Yeah, because they give us many opportunities, but every once in a while, much like Django Freeman, every once in a while they find that one nigga in 10,000. That one movie in 10,000 that really does well, and it's called Into the Spider-Verse, and maybe they'll get another one.
So one of the things I would say is Sony's biggest problem, and they have many, but one of their biggest problems is they seem to hire kind of, this is going to sound offensive, and I really don't mean it to. They don't hire any prestige directors. You know what I mean? They seem to hire directors based on money, not based on talent. And that seems to show. I don't remember who directed Uncharted, but I don't think it was anybody of like major note. Because I think David O. Russell was supposed to direct it a long time ago, but I think he dropped out. So it's just, I feel like that's, they just kind of, they seem to have like a stable of directors, and then they're just like, all right, you do Uncharted, like, and you do this. Like, it never feels like, oh, they got this guy to direct it. Like, it never feels that way.
Ruben Fleischer directed it. Does that name ring a bell?
The name sounds familiar.
Here are some of his credits. Zombieland.
That's where I remember him from.
Gangsta Squad. You mean you don't remember him from Venom?
Oh, he directed the first one?
He directed the first Venom.
That explains everything then.
The Zombieland Double Tap and Uncharted. Those are some of the highlights.
Zombieland, I haven't seen Double Tap, but Zombieland was good. I actually did like Zombieland. I'm not going to say it isn't. But again, he's in the stable, right? Like, oh, you did Venom. so you go do this next movie. You know what I mean? That's what it always feels like to me.
Yeah.
So I think you need to get, that's why Spider-Verse was so good. Lord and Miller are great directors. Like, they really, really are. And so they're going to make it their own. In order to compete, you have to coerce like top tier directors to come and do your shit. So I don't know, find somebody, man, who's got like a real vision for this. Like, what's the guy who did Looper and did The Last Jedi? I can't remember his name.
Rian Johnson.
Rian Johnson. He would be great for this, right? Like, he wanted to do more Star Wars stuff, and then people hated The Last Jedi, so I think he's kind of like, I don't need that bullshit. Let him do something like this. Like, let him like dig in and do something like really, really impressive. Because for the most part, Robotech is so old now. I don't think people are going to have, like, young people don't have any hard feelings about it, one way or the other, if they've ever seen it.
No. Ladies and gentlemen, your boys here want to talk about our boys, and hopefully we will do your boys a favor. Yes. We are sponsored today. We are sponsored. This podcast is sponsored. We are sponsored by Manscaped, and Manscaped was kind enough to send us the Perfect Package 3.0 kit, which includes the new and improved Lawnmower 3.0, along with other liquid formulations for your manscaping routines. The Lawnmower 3.0 is the only water-resistant trimmer made with skin-safe technology, helping you avoid the absolute suffering that comes from common grooming accidents. It's got a charge dock, and it lasts up to 90 minutes on a single charge. Now, let me tell you something, folks. This is me breaking away from the copy, okay? This is me talking directly to you, okay? I used the lawnmower. So what you need to know about me is that I'm a bit of a what's that Greek mythological creature called that's like a man up top but has like goat legs at the bottom and it's all furry, like a satyr or something like that. Like
something like that.
That's me, right?
You're like a minotaur. You're like basically like a minotaur.
Yeah. Like I'm like.
Or is that like a bull on top?
You can crochet down there with me. And it's a bit of an issue, right? It's a bit of an issue. I used the Lawnmower 3.0. And let me tell you something. Look, this isn't the first time I've shaved my balls. But this is the first time that I've shaved my balls that I felt confident putting blades down there.
Yeah, I'm normally not a huge fan of that. And yes, I found that this one was much better, 100% better.
It is though. It really is though. Like, because I was, I've nicked myself before, and it fucking sucks.
Yeah, it's not a good look. It's not a good look.
It is not a good look. It don't feel great, and then everything kind of scabs over and shit like that. Like, nah, man, it sucks. But with the lawnmower, it's got like a little light to help.
It does. It does have a light. Yeah. Like,
to help me see
to guide you on your way. Yes.
And I'm not BSing you guys. Like, it's a clean, it's a smooth shave, right? Like,
yeah.
It's as close as you are going to get without taking a razor blade down there. And I would not recommend taking a razor blade down. No. Not at all.
So look, one of the things about this product, like, not only is the Lawnmower 3.0 a fantastic shave. Look, this isn't just for dudes, right? Like, this isn't just for dudes. This is also for women who know dudes, and you don't want to be around what is referred to as a fawn, a half man, half goat. And you would like this person to like look nice down there if you want to look down there or do your business. It's kind of nice to have somebody who is taken care of. So, yes.
The package also comes with the Crop Preserver, which is ball deodorant. Now, look, I like to jog, right? Like, I'm not like Cam. I'm not like some world-class athlete like Cam. But I like to jog, and it gets musty down there. And it gets real musty when you're like when there's a forest down there. So when I cleaned myself up, when I manscaped myself, I put the crop preserver on.
Yes.
And I went out for a jog just to test it. I did my 4 miles and I came back, and I swear to God, guys, like it wasn't like dripping. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't musty. Like everywhere else on me was funky, but down there, where
Still
the
good to
action
go.
happened, I was good to go, man.
Right. It also has a nice smell. Like, it's a nice smell.
It does.
It does. It actually smells nice. I was like, oh, okay. But look, make sure you go to manscaped.com, manscaped.com, and then use our promo code Those Nerds, all one word, and to get 20% off and free shipping. So again, manscaped.com, use promo code Those Nerds, 20% off. And do yourself a favor, or do the man in your life a favor, and get this product. It's actually awesome. We, on this show, we don't lie. We tell you the truth. If we didn't like the product, we wouldn't be suggesting it to you.
Yeah, like I couldn't believe it. Like I legit couldn't believe, because I've seen the product before, right? And it's like, oh, okay, but I already have some clippers, right? Nah, yo, I'm never taking any other clippers to my balls again.
No, and I believe the log line here is your balls will thank you. So
yes,
they will. All right, next up, Avatar 2: The Way of the Water will have tons of different release types. So at CinemaCon this week, this is where everybody is talking about all the big movies that got, some of them got fully viewed, some of them got partially viewed. Before we get into Avatar 2, I'll tell you a couple things that I read. This is no spoilers on any of these big movies. First and foremost, Top Gun Maverick, across the board, everyone loved it. Loved it. Like, they were like, yo, if you like Top Gun, you ain't seen nothing yet. Like, as I read, it wears its heart on its sleeve. The story is really great. Tom Cruise is great in it. And the aerial cinematography is phenomenal. So if you're looking forward to Top Gun Maverick, the folks in the industry are saying it is, it's fantastic. And they saw the whole thing. The talk of Black Panther 2 and Doctor Strange 2, all great. The footage they saw was all great. Trying to think what else. I think those are the only other big movies I remember them seeing. People saw some of Black Adam too, but I hadn't seen any reactions. But I certainly hadn't heard any negative things. But
yeah, it's called a non-disclosure agreement.
No, they not. Well, maybe for that, but like,
I'm joking.
That movie's never coming out. I don't have anything to say because they showed him a black screen. But about Avatar 2, The Way of the Water. So that apparently, according to Barry Hertz, who is a guy who was there, says that James Cameron's sequel will have more versions than any movie in history. IMAX 3D PLF. I'm not sure what that is. I'll look it up. High res version, high frames per second rate, variable sound systems in 160 languages. I feel like saying in 160 languages is kind of a bullshit way of like boosting that up. Like, that's most movies. like a lot of movies get translated into different languages. That's not that special. But does this feel it feels to me like this is doing too much.
It feels to me on brand with James Cameron. PLF stands for Premium Large Format.
Okay.
Look, James Cameron loves movies. He loves pushing the envelope when it comes to technology, doing movies. He also has a massive ego. I mean, you kind of have to be a director of something, right? And it feels like it's James Cameron being James Cameron. I think he is trying to will Avatar into being the most popular. Wasn't Titanic? Is Titanic the highest grossing movie ever?
No, it was Avatar, and then Endgame beat it.
Okay, it was Avatar, right? Like, That's got to do something for somebody's ego, dude. And he's
Well,
trying to.
it was Titanic at first, and then it was Avatar. So
And it was Avatar,
right?
Like he's trying. The king is coming for the throne, right? Like he wants. That's why you're seeing all these versions. He wants Avatar 2 to be the highest grossing movie of all time, and I mean that's one thing. Like I respect it. I respect the competition and the drive, right?
Absolutely. I want him to
I
try.
just hope.
I want him to try.
Yeah, absolutely. You need people to push the envelope. I just hope that, like, while you're pushing that envelope, like you're bringing like story and
that was
character development and all
was
that.
Definitely secondary to the first movie.
Right.
It's just not that great.
I remember watching Avatar. I remember liking it. I can't tell you one person's name. Jake Sully. That's it. And the only reason I know who Jake Sully is because Sully is the name of a character from the Uncharted video game. That's why I remember Jake Sully's name.
Right.
I can't. I didn't know Sigourney Weaver was in it. I forgot that Sigourney Weaver was in it.
She's a huge part of that movie.
Like, I forgot she was in it. So I remember liking it, but it didn't leave any cultural impact for me.
Yeah. Look, I read a lot of forums and stuff that people are just like, I think it's ridiculous to say that it didn't make any cultural impact for people, like, but it didn't. Not for me. It didn't. And I understand that it made a huge cultural impact for a lot of people. Clearly, it made a shit ton of money, right? People saw it over and over and over again. I am just curious. And look, I don't think that movie's that great. I like from a take away all the 3D and you just make it a CGI movie. I think most people would be like, yeah, it was like pretty good. Like, it was okay, right? I think the 3D is what impressed the shit out of people, and rightfully so. No one has ever done 3D as good as he did. I mean, it was phenomenal, right? Like, I'm never going to watch Avatar again because I can't watch it in 3D. Like, I think actually tied to this news, Avatar the original was being released back in theaters beforehand, right? I think you have to do that because it's been 12 years since the first one, and I think you have to do it to gin up interest. Like, I just don't think the interest is there. Like, I don't think you have to release Endgame again to get people to go see the next Avengers movie. Why? Because it's not going to be 12 years difference. I think it is very, very naive to believe that audience is still there in the level that they were 12 years ago. 12 years ago is before the MCU, dude. 12 years ago is before the boom of superhero movies. 12 years ago is before the boom of mega blockbusters. Like, every other fucking month, there's $1 billion movie being released. Cameron didn't have to compete with that. He has to compete with that now. And look, it's Disney, right? So, it's not like Disney's going to like half-ass it or anything to get it out. Because Disney makes money either way. They don't give a shit. Cool. Endgame's the leader. Avatar's the leader. We don't give a fuck. We're just making money. They don't care. But at the end of the day, people's interests are very different. They're very different. The world has changed significantly. Is James Cameron going to do a movie that's so like, make sure it doesn't piss anybody off while having this like environmental message? Is China going to be cool with it? Right? Because that's where it made a ton of money, right? It was a big cultural impact in China. Does he make sure he doesn't fuck with China, doesn't bother them about something? Can't have any gay characters, can't have it, you know what I mean? Like, you got to keep it super sanitized so you can hit as many countries as possible. Is high res enough to get people to go to the theater? Ask the people who went and saw high res for Hobbit. I saw it. I thought it was cool. Wasn't enough to get those movies popping like fucking Lord of the Rings.
Also, what are ticket prices going to cost, right? Like, you can put all these different things out here, but if it's going to cost me $30 to watch it, I'm not watching it in whatever version you prefer me to watch it.
Yeah. Nope.
Like, that's a factor, man, especially now.
Yeah, the pandemic. Right. Also the pandemic. Dude, I saw people talking about like, man, I can't wait to see Doctor Strange on Disney Plus. I'm not going to theaters. That's Doctor Strange too. That's shit in the fucking zeitgeist right now that people are excited about. You're making a movie from a sequel, or you're making a sequel to a movie 12 years ago. How excited are people to see that? For characters they haven't thought about in well over a decade during a pandemic. I don't know, man.
The one thing that I am not looking forward to is going to be the absolute marketing blitzkrieg that this movie is going to get, because that's coming. Like,
oh, yeah.
more so than I feel any other movie currently out right now. Is you are going to get just inundated with a bunch of Avatar stuff, and it is going to beat you down into wanting to go see it.
Yep.
And yeah, I'm just not looking forward to all of that.
Yeah,
but
that's why I don't watch live TV. That's right, I don't. But like the other thing, look, I'm not going to be one of these people who says I'm not going to see the movie. I'm not going to say that. I didn't hate the first movie, like I enjoyed it for what it was. I was blown away by the technology, and I stand by that. And I think Cameron is one of the best to ever do it. Like, he just is. Like, the dude can make shit super interesting and fascinating to watch. My thing is, I don't think it's going to do, like, I'm sure it'll crack $1 billion. No problem. No problem. I don't see it doing No Way Home numbers. No Way Home is at almost, it's just over $1.9 billion. I don't see it getting that high. No way. I don't see it getting anywhere close to the original. Unless that movie is just off the wall, the best story he's done since like Aliens, right? Like, if it's got the like amazing tech and the story is phenomenal, then okay. But if that story is like mediocre as fuck, like the first one, I don't think people are going to see it. They're like, just catch it on Disney Plus, dude. Like, whatever. Like,
I just Disney.
Yeah, Avatar's on Disney Plus right now. You can watch it. Like, you'll be able to tell how well this movie's going to do when the first movie gets re-released. If that movie doesn't do like, I'm not saying $1 billion re-release, that would be crazy. But if it doesn't do like significant numbers, that audience ain't there. Then they're not there. Because this is their only opportunity in 12 years to see it in 3D and in a theater. If those people are not rushing out to see that movie, that audience isn't there. It's just not there. So
yeah, we'll see.
We'll see.
Now watch. Now that we've said this, watch.
It goes crazy.
Movie. Yeah, it'll be the number one movie of all time.
I'll be like, God damn.
It'll be the number one movie of all time.
So, but I look. I mean, here's the thing. It is what it is. Whatever. Like, but
yeah, I'm not mad at it.
My thing is, I want if Avatar 2 is going to be the biggest movie of all time, I need the story to be there. I don't need just for all the dumb blockbusters all making all this money and comic book movies or whatever. At least Endgame had a great story. It had an intriguing story. Avatar did not. It was Dances with Wolves. It had a story that has been done so many times, and it was just dressed up in a new thing. So, if they're gonna do it, I hope that he spent a lot of time working on the story. And it's not like Cameron can't get a great story, right? He's not just like a dumb visual director who can't put together a great story, because that's not true at all. Fucking Terminator 2, Aliens, The Abyss. Like, he can do wonderfully engrossing stories, but he ain't really concentrating on that shit the last time. He just wanted to throw his dick on the table, and I get it. Hopefully his balls are shaved well. Use Manscaped. Manscaped.com. Those nerds. All right, next up, the Batman 2 with Robert Pattinson confirmed by Warner Brothers. And yes, Matt Reeves will be back as he was at CinemaCon to announce it. Yeah, this is the biggest no shit of all time. That movie did incredibly well. I think it's the film made $760 million worldwide with just a 45-day theatrical window during a pandemic. So that bodes well. I think it was HBO Max's biggest film. I think they said something like it was HBO Max's biggest film premiere or something, some shit like that, or one of their largest. So yeah. Okay, good. get to work. I don't know what else to tell you. Just get to work.
Look, I like the Batman. I haven't rewatched it. My wife says she wants to watch it. If she's serious, then I'll watch it again. I'm very curious to see what my thoughts are on a second watch. I like that movie. It's not perfect.
No,
yeah, I was really looking forward to, you know, when you announced the Riddler, I was really looking forward to like the riddles being something like super clever.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think they were.
That's fair. That's fair.
And
like they were meant to be found out. Like they were meant to be figured out. That was the point.
Yeah. But at the same time, like they're meant to be found out by the Batman.
Right.
Who is supposed to be the world's, like, he is supposed to be like the Riddler's intellectual equal, which is why the Riddler is like, see, you and me, we're the same, right? Like they're supposed to, you know. So
no, you're a goddamn psychopath.
I'm vengeance. You're a loser. I'm curious as to where they go, right? The Joker was teased.
Yeah.
I don't know if you do I don't want them to do the Joker. I want the Joker to be a Hannibal Lecter character. I like that idea. I wish that scene was in the movie. If you're gonna have this fucking 2 hour and 55-minute movie, then fucking just make it 3 hours and put that Joker scene of him being Hannibal Lecter. Just put it in there. Like, you're already at an obscene running time. It was 5 more minutes.
Yeah.
But I'm curious as to where they go. You gotta stay with a somewhat grounded. You gotta stay with a somewhat grounded villain, like a gangster type villain. I think Two-Face is Two-Face and the Joker are as wild as you can go.
Nah, I think you go bigger than that. He wants.
I think
Reeves says that he's interested in doing Mr. Freeze.
Mr. Freeze, I don't know, man. I feel like you got to do like a Hush type character, in this grounded world. Like, this grounded world is gonna have a guy with a cold gun. Like, maybe not a cold gun. Maybe he just like kills people and throws them in like freezers or something like that. Like,
nah, that seems whack. That seems.
Well, what you gonna do? What you gonna do?
Nah,
Yo,
cold gun. You gotta go cold gun.
Like,
chill.
Not in this world. What killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age.
No, okay.
All right.
That's the worst casting in comic book history. It's the worst casting ever. How?
Playing hockey with a diamond, yo.
That shit made no sense. People, I want the Goofy Batman back. We had that. Like, it wasn't. Adam West was not the last Goofy Batman movie, yo. Like no.
Yeah, they had Goofy Batman and it damn near killed the franchise.
Yeah, yo, people hated it. They hated it. It was like, no, I want a Batman who is a little bit more serious.
We like it now, but we like it ironically, guys.
Right, like, not like, you don't want this. You think you want it. You do not want this. But look, I think it's it'll be interesting. Like, look, I think Reeves is a clever guy. Like, I think you could do, like, if you look at Mr. Freeze in the Arkham game, he's much more heavy tech driven, right? Like, that fucking suit and all this other stuff. Like, I feel like you could figure it out. It's gonna be a stretch.
He's still wearing a cold suit and has a cold gun. Like, he's got a cryo gun that shoots cold at people. Like, it turns them into ice in that game. Like, I understand what you're saying. If you do Mr. Freeze,
it's gonna be interesting.
I'm just real curious how you do it. That's all. I'm just super curious how you do it in the world that has been established.
Right. Yeah, no, I hear you.
And look, this world is not like, this world is like in some like very near future, right? Like, he's got camera contact lenses and you know, stuff that's like kind of unbelievable, but like not really. So I'm willing to give it a little bit of I'm willing to give it a little bit of leeway, but like nigga shooting a cold gun, like they do that on the Flash, yo. Like they shoot icicles at you.
Hold. Okay, let's think about this. I just Googled, do freeze guns exist on Google, right? I checked. And someone said, you could make a gun that fires liquid nitrogen. That actually scientifically would make sense. You get liquid nitrogen on human skin, it freezes. We saw that in Terminator, which is obviously a movie based on science.
another incredibly realistic movie.
Yes.
All right.
Maybe he just carries around like metal buckets of liquid nitrogen. He throws it on. Surprise! Like he would just need to be able to weaponize that. But like liquid nitrogen would work. But also, Robert Pattinson said his favorite villain, which I personally think should be a jobber in his next movie, is the Condiment King, which I 100% would like to see this Batman beat the brakes off of a guy trying to shoot people with ketchup and mustard. That just sounds fun to me. Who doesn't want to see that? Like, that's what he said. He was like, that's his favorite villain. I was like, you know what? I like this guy. He's a good Batman and he's smart. So yeah, look, that's fine by me, man. I'm super excited for it. My biggest thing is it doesn't need to be 3 hours. Keep it at 2.5. No, we're good.
It really doesn't.
Like we get it. You had to like do a lot of establishing of that world. That's cool. Whatever. 2.5 hours is the max for any of these movies going forward. People can deal with that. All right, buddy. Let's talk about it. Sony has announced Venom 3. That's not why Micah's sad.
Whatever. I get that. Like, those movies made money, and it's based off of a character that everyone loves. So I 100% understand why there's a Venom 3. What I don't understand is the next thing.
Sony announces El Muerto, a Spider-Man spinoff starring Bad Bunny as Marvel's first live-action Latino lead. I know what you're thinking. Who the fuck is El Muerto?
Look, I get wanting to do a movie with Bad Bunny, right? I get, I told you this in a private chat. I'll tell you folks listening at home. This movie came to be because someone at Sony is a wrestling fan. They saw Bad Bunny perform at WrestleMania. They were like, holy shit, he's a Latino dude who's into wrestling and is incredibly popular. We got to get him in a movie. Well, what movies are popular? Superhero movies. Well, do we have any superheroes? Well, we kind of have Spider-Man, but he's with his dad this weekend. So what can we do? Well, we got all his other characters. Well, do we have a Latino that can wrestle in that stable? Let me check. Oh, hey. Here's 2 issues of a random Spider-Man comic in which a luchador, who is basically Luchador Black Panther, wrestles Spider-Man. Not even fights to the death or anything. Just like fights Spider-Man in order to try and unmask him. And he's paid by J. Jonah Jameson. And someone was like, brilliant. Do it. Get Bad Bunny on the phone.
Why though? Like I don't know this guy's music. I don't know this guy. Is he actually also a wrestler?
No, he's a musician who is an incredibly big wrestling fan to the point where he wanted to work with W. He did a song called Booker T, and he had Booker T in the video, and he really likes wrestling. And WWE was like, yo. This dude is really popular with the Latin kids. Let's get him, right. And that's what they did. And look, I get it, right? I get it. Bad Bunny's going to be. I'm not mad. I understand it. What I don't understand is picking this random ass character. Like, why not just give Bad Bunny a vehicle to star in? It's not like the dude is a complete nobody, right? Like. he's a superstar, and you could make him a super duper star with his own vehicle. And I guess that's technically what they're doing. I just
like why you're
Sony,
basically saying why not give him his own vehicle that's not a Spider-Man character.
Yeah, or if you're going to give him a vehicle that is a Spider-Man character, why not make it a Spider-Man character that has some sort of brand recognition? Like at this point, like you don't have to tie at this point you don't have to tie race to the characters in which they are commonly associated as, unless it is essential to the essence of their being, right? Like all you people out there who are like, well, what if we made such and such white? Like, you can make Blade white. Who cares? It doesn't matter, right?
You can't make Black Panther white.
You can't make Black Panther white, right? Like, that's what we're talking about. I don't think Captain America, Steve Rogers, that his specific story, I don't think would work if he was a black person. No. Yes, you can have a black Captain America, but Steve Rogers can't be black.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Like, he's literally supposed to look like the Nazi ideal. Like, that's the point.
Right. That's the point of Steve Rogers. So I just don't. Yeah, man, I don't understand, yo. I don't understand. I mean, look, no, I'm not even going to play devil's advocate. I'm not even going to give them the benefit of the doubt. I'm tired of doing that shit. I'm tired of doing that shit with this company butchering this beloved franchise. Yo, Spider-Man is...
The Muerto franchise? Oh, Spider-Man, sorry. Go ahead. How dare you?
I know people shouldn't take like this shit as seriously as I'm about to make it sound. But yo, Spider-Man is a character that people adore and people see themselves in. Spider-Man is the quintessential everyman character who he's the ultimate relatable guy, right? Mm-hmm. And just to see how Sony just kind of they're treating it like a commodity. I think Spider-Man personally is a beautiful form of art, and the big thing with Spider-Man, his big weakness is he has a guilt complex. And you know, maybe it's growing up in a household that not hyper religious, but you know, accepted religion as a part of it. Like, right. Religion is nothing but a fucking guilt complex, man. And that's what and that's why it's so relatable to me. Like, I get it. Like, he's such an empathetic character. He wants to do the right thing, and sometimes he does, and sometimes, like, it's such a great character and such a great, like, story for kids.
Yep. To
see Sony just like not give a fuck about any aspect of it, it's very, very disheartening, man. And I'm tired of giving these people the benefit of the fucking doubt. Yo, Morbius sucked. I didn't see it, but from all intents and purposes, like, from everything I've heard, it was okay at best. And that is not something that you should want to hang your hat on. You should not be okay with mediocrity.
Dude, like, it wasn't mediocre. It has a Rotten Tomatoes score of 17%. It's not mediocre.
Yo, Jesus Christ. Like, come on, man. 17%,
dude.
I didn't know it was that low. Yeah. I thought it was in the 30s, to be quite honest with you. I thought it was in the 30s. Nah, yo. Nah, man.
So I think that this movie will do well because Bad Bunny is popular and everyone loves El Muerto. So, like, that just makes sense, right? Like, but I think, you know, some people have made the point, and I agree with them, that wrestling fans will mark out for this, right? Like, if you make this a very wrestler-centric story, I could see it working, right? You get a couple of famous wrestlers already, you know, you get, you know, Triple H in there, or, you know, some big names that people know. You let WWE, frankly, like co-produce it. Get a couple of their wrestlers in there. That'd be smart.
Okay,
that's smart money.
Now you're making sense, because I see the IWC, which is the Internet Wrestling Community, Again, a bunch of hardcore fans who are toxic because all hardcore fans of anything are fucking toxic.
Yes.
They're not buying into this shit, but then you remember that wrestling is for children and children do buy into shit like this.
That's right.
And yeah, I can see that. If they partner with the WWE, I can see it being successful. I don't see it being good. There's not a universe that I see this movie being good. But yeah, I can accept that it might be successful.
Yeah. And look, I think that's Sony's whole thing is they just want it to be successful. They don't care if things are good. They really don't.
And I don't like that, man. I'm
not a fan of that either.
Spider-Man, dude. Especially when it comes to like Spider-Man properties and shit. Like that's how you water down a property.
They are. They are. And look, for the life of me, I cannot understand why they don't make a spider in their universe. Create one, dude. Like, create one. I don't know who it is. Like, fucking Ben Reilly. Like, make it Scarlet Spider, right? Like, the modern Scarlet Spider suit, the all red one. That's kind of dope looking. Gwen Stacy, like, who I don't want them to do because they're going to fuck it up. Miles, who I don't want them to do because they'll fuck it up. But somebody, like pick someone or make up a new character if you want, or do Silk. I don't think people would be that mad if you just use Silk, but you keep building all these villain stories. What are you building to? Right? Like I understand the idea of, like giving representation and everything else. I got no problem with that. That sounds awesome. What are you building to though? Right? And I know people would say, well, maybe they're all separate movies, but they're not. Because Morbius quite literally mentions Venom. So they're not in a separate universe. They're all in the same one. What are you building to? The whole point of a connected universe is to connect it to go somewhere. not just a loose federation of states. What are you doing? So, like, I don't understand what is the purpose of this movie. Where are they going? Is El Muerto going to be... because doesn't he become a hero in his 2 issues that he was in?
He's not necessarily a villain, from what I understand. He is someone who has dealings with J. Jonah Jameson. His power is derived from the mask, and in order to, like, El Muerto is a title, and much like you saw in that Black Panther movie. You have to in order to be the man, you got to beat the man, right?
See, again, just team up with WWE, dude. Like, come on, man. You could have a couple like you could cut it, like cut promos and shit. Like you could have fun with this. Like you could legitimately have quite a lot of fun with this. By the way, what a missed opportunity to not like. El Muerto feels like a character that you would put as a small character in a Spider-Man movie, not his own movie. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, he could show up, like, you could just be like, Sony could be like, hey, look, whatever you're going to do with the next Spider-Man movie, can we put Bad Bunny in as El Muerto? Like, we want to do that. And they'd be like, all right, cool. We got this, like, all right, we'll write a little wrestling scene or something like that. Somebody like, hey, I'm gonna call for charity. Like you play it like Rocky, right? He calls out Spider-Man for charity. Like, come on, Spider-Man, let's wrestle, but it'll be for charity. And then he's like, Spider-Man doesn't think he actually has powers. It turns out he does, and he really gives Spider-Man a run for his money. Like when Thunderlips fought Rocky and was like, yeah, it's for charity, and he's like trying to beat the shit out of Rocky. And then like Spider-Man's like, all right, enough of this bullshit, and he like beats him. But like you get a moment of that actor having fun and like really taking on Tom Holland, and then then you move on. That makes him make that scene make that the bone saws ready fucking for the modern era, and people will love it. Throw a little homage back to the original Spider-Man and then move on. But not them. Yeah. Let's make a 2-hour movie about this character who's been in 2 books. All right. And not make anything with Silk or any of these other characters who've had years and years of fucking information. Fucking trash, dude.
This is how and maybe this is getting into the weeds, right? If Crusher Hogan's not in this movie, like if El Muerto is not fighting Crusher Hogan, like that just proves to me that like Sony doesn't know what they don't care. They don't care, right? Crusher Hogan is the original guy that Spider-Man wrestled in order to get to, and then he was like, "Hey, why didn't you pay me?" He was like, "Fuck you, kid." Like that story. Crusher Hogan is the name of the guy. Bonesaw McGraw, played by Macho Man Randy Savage, was in the movie, but his name was Crusher Hogan. Yo, if he doesn't wrestle Crusher Hogan at some point, like that's how I know that you don't really give a shit. Like Crusher Hogan, I'm not saying needs to be a character. I'm just saying, like, yo, wrestle a dude named Crusher Hogan and prove to me that you have actually read a Spider-Man comic book. Like, prove to me that you actually know anything about it.
He ain't in it. Crusher Hogan is not in it. No,
he's not. He's not. No. Of course not.
No. At the end of the movie, he's gonna meet up with Madam Web, and they're gonna have a conversation for some reason. What are they doing? What are they doing? What are they doing? I have no idea, and I don't think they know. Jesus Christ. All right, what the fuck brought to you by JTD? Take it away.
Nope. We're going to talk about premium content.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
What's the website? thenerdpocalypse.com/premium?
Yes. So there is a brand new couple of episodes in recent history of Airing of Grievances. There will be a new episode of Airing of Grievances by the time you listen to this up as well. That is on the Bizarro Jerry. So classic episode. Also, if I can help it, not this weekend, but next weekend, No Time to Bleed is back. All right. It's been a long time coming. We're back on our schedule. We're back on our bullshit. So look for that and a number of other shows that we've done. We're bringing all that shit back. So thenerdpocalypse.com/premium, $5 a month or $50 for the full year. You also get full episodes of Look Forward, our political show. If you're listening to Look Forward for free, like if you find it in iTunes or Spotify or what have you, you're only hearing the first hour. Brad and I normally do 30 extra minutes past that or another hour, depending on what kind of stuff we talk about. And we get a little bit meaner in that second hour. Sometimes we go, what is the time? Up. It's been an hour and 1 minute. Let's rock and roll. And then we tell you what we really think. Because you can't get arrested if it's behind a paywall. That's how it works. So sign up for premium content. It is awesome. It is worth as much as you pay for a cup of coffee at Starbucks, which is too much in my opinion. Their coffee sucks. But our shows do not. So thenerdpocalypse.com/premium, and we will see you guys on that side of the wall. All right, what the fuck brought to you by JTD?
JTD of the Edit That Out podcast sent us these stories. Woman who owns 50 rats thinks of them as her babies and bathes them in the kitchen sink. Psycho animal person has gone viral online after sharing a look at her 50 pet rats, who she describes as being her babies who can do no wrong. She even washes them in their sink.
This is why you don't eat food at a potluck. This is exactly why, man.
Yeah. Michelle Raybon, 51, received her first few rats back in 2018, and she now owns so many of the cuddly creatures with 25 females and 25 males. That's also not a good idea because they're going to fuck, and they are going to create it's going to be like what's that movie that I will never ever watch of that dude who could just like control rats?
Oh, with Crispin Glover?
I think so.
Yeah, I don't. What was it called? Oh, fuck. It was like his name. It was like Stewart or like some shit like that.
All I just know is they played
like
that rat
or some shit like that. I don't know.
They played that rat. Despite all my rage, I'm still just a rat in a cage. I'm just like, nope, because that song is associated with that trailer, and I am not. Can't listen to it. This woman,
Willard.
where's she?
It's called Willard.
Yep, that was it. Nope,
I'm good, man. No thanks.
Also, Willard, the name of Will Smith.
Also, Mitt Romney's middle name. Or I think it's his. I think it's his first name. Yeah.
I was about to say, please don't tell me that they named his first name. His given name is Mitt.
No, Willard Romney is Willard Mitt Romney.
Wow, woman's
yeah, I would go by
man.
Mitt too.
Michelle from this country. She's from the USA. What state is she from?
Mississippi.
Wrong. She's hanging out there with Tiara in California because that's what Californians do. They play with a bunch of fucking rodents. She previously went viral late last year after posting a video of her rats bathing in her kitchen sink on Facebook, receiving over 350,000 views because social media is, in fact, the devil. She explains they're my babies and can do no wrong.
Oh,
they each have their own individual personality.
No, they don't.
So
all right. No, they don't.
Stick out more than others. They're very social. When you feed them, they all come run. Yeah, because they're fucking rats.
They're fucking rats, man. Ew.
Some you'll know if they're not as friendly, and some other ones are a lot more friendly. I got them from a breeder in Texas when I moved to California. There were no rat breeders out here. You know why? Because people don't want fucking rats in their house. Look, if this woman's happy, that's fine. I'm glad she's happy.
I mean, a lot of people like rats as domesticated rats as pets. Like, apparently they're very smart. Here's the thing. I grew up with a black mom. You know, my mom was like, I remember we went to a pet store once and they had a chinchilla, and I was like, "Oh, can we get one of those?" She was like, "That's a rodent, and rodents attract other rodents. We're not getting one." Nah,
your mother is incredibly smart. Your mother, I love your mother. Your mother is incredibly fucking smart. Like that is
get the fuck out of here,
right? That's what I'm gonna say when my kids. That's what I'm gonna say when my kids ask for a dog. I'm gonna be like, "That's a rodent, and rodents attract other rodents."
And my daughter will be having the same conversation with your sons years from now. Going, your father's an idiot. He's an incredibly stupid person. A rodent? What?
Oh shit!
Like that rodent is woofing at me. Like, get out of here. Yeah, your son saying woofing is hilarious. No, this is gross, man. This woman looks like this woman is single, and that I don't know that, but I know that. Can you imagine you go on a date and this woman's like, "Oh, let's go back to my place." You go back to her house and she just got cages full of rats. I'd be like,
"No, I would literally jump out of my skin."
I'd be like, "I gotta go. I have to leave." I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'll take man hands over rat house any day.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Yeah, nah. Get out of here. All right, I can't look at this anymore. Even just looking at them just grosses me out.
Yeah. Well, I wish this story was just. I will read the title. I wish this story was placed differently in the lineups of stories that we have tonight. Man almost lost penis after matted pubic hair cuts off circulation.
Come on, yo. Come on. God damn it.
All he had to do was go to manscaped.com, use the promo code THOSENERDS for 20% off. Oh my God. Yo, what are you doing? A man from this particular country nearly lost part of his penis after pubic hair ensnared the tip and cut off the circulation like a grotesque garrote or garret.
Jesus Christ!
So like piano wire, basically.
Yeah, his pubic hair garroted his penis. Yo, god damn!
Yo, why don't you just come on? Yo. Like, you don't feel uncomfortable after a while? Like, if you let it grow for too long without like trimming it, it gets uncomfortable. Like it gets like. All right, that's crazy to me. We describe an unusual case in an adult resulting in erosion of the urethra. Oh my fucking God. he almost had phallic asphyxiation.
So why is that a thing? Yo?
Yeah, right. Like that term does not need to exist. Like that term should not exist at all. He specifically suffered from a. All right, yo, don't call this a syndrome, yo, because that means it's happened to more than one person, and this is insane. He specifically suffered from hair tourniquet syndrome. Now, that's not a thing. Please stop making that a thing. In which hair or thread becomes tightly tangled around the genitals, fingers, and other extremities. Jesus Christ. Generally affecting children, the affliction can cut off blood flow, requiring patients to undergo surgery and even amputation. This man was 57 years old and was reportedly uncircumcised. Of course, filthy beast. Had reported to his family doctor after suffering extreme pain and swelling in his glands. The specific term for the penis tip for 2 weeks. For 2 weeks. This guy had pain for 2 weeks. All right, where is this guy located? What country?
What country? Probably some filthy rustic country. So Australia.
That is correct.
Of course it is. Of course, get the fuck out of here, yo.
That is absolutely correct. That is correct. Yeah, man, that's all right. Like, all right, this is from the New York Post. I was wondering when they were going to get down to all their puns. In fact, the tallywhacker tourniquet was so constricting that it had compressed the member down to 1 centimeter in diameter. It almost completely divided his urethra.
I can't.
You know what? Yo. You know what? I don't want to say it. But I think for the sake of this story, this guy had to be like a huge dude, right? Like,
oh, because he couldn't like see it, maybe.
Right, like
couldn't see what was going on down there.
Right, like had to be, or like a person not in their right mental state.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, maybe it's just someone who needs to go to manscaped.com and type in those nerds for the discount code so he can get himself 20% off and free international shipping. So he can get himself a lawnmower. It's got a light on it, guys. Like, so you can kind of help you see stuff down there.
Yeah.
Yo, trim your balls, yo. God damn.
Yeah, if you want someone to put their face down there, clean your shit up. Like, just
God
for
damn.
real. That's crazy. And thanks, JTD. That's disgusting. You're a horrendous human being. All right. Oh boy. All right. Trailers this week. Go right into Dark Wind. This is a upcoming AMC series starting June 12th. Look, I think this looks really interesting. This is clearly about some sort of like weird, kind of weird heist kind of situation. But it's a psychological thriller, created by Graham Rowland, who I think, he created Jack Ryan, which, okay, like all in.
Yeah.
He also was a writer on Prison Break, Lost, Fringe, Almost Human, which I loved, and Jack Ryan. Those are kind of the big ones. But yeah, the series follows 2 Navajo police officers in the 1970s Southwest. Look, I think it looks interesting. There's like sort of a nature of like witchcraft and, you know, that sort of thing in the sort of on the reservation, Navajo reservation. Look, the guy who is the lead, Zan McClarnon, Zahn McClarnon, that guy is awesome. That guy is awesome in everything. He really is quite great. And it's kind of dope that this is the second series on television right now. FX has that other show that is focused on Native Americans. I don't think there's ever been two shows focused on Native Americans. Never.
I didn't think. Look. What I'm going to say might sound like mean. I don't mean it to be mean.
I know exactly what you're going to say.
I mean it because I am ignorant. I did not know there were this many Native American actors. You know? I just did not know. And
did Hollywood know? Did Hollywood know?
Right. That is a problem, you know. I'm happy for these people. I'm happy people are getting work. Not everything is like. There's nothing about this story that this story looks incredibly interesting, no matter who would be starring in it. And I think the setting of it being on a reservation just gives it a little more character. You know what I mean? Like, it gives it that je ne sais quoi that other shows just don't have, right? Like,
right. So, incidentally, and George R.R. Martin is one of the executive producers. That's kind of interesting. But my guess is because these are based on these Tony Hillerman books. There's like a number of them. They're specifically mystery novels featuring these two Navajo police officers. And there's like, I don't know, there's like 15 of them, 15 or 20 books. Yeah. So again, they're doing the Hollywood move, right? Which is, hey, what's a really popular book series that maybe some people know, but like the mainstream might not know, that are like really adult based? Let's mine this shit for television. Amazon has been doing it. It's not a shock that this is being created by the same guy who did Jack Ryan. Like it's not actually. What's the only thing that's surprising is that it's not on Amazon.
Yeah.
You know, to be honest, but it doesn't have a name like Jack or, you know, something like that. Navajo, you know, coming to Amazon. But okay, look, man, I'll check it out. You and I were talking offline the other day, like how East Asian folks are getting a real push right now, and it seems like, you know, Native folks are getting their chance too, which I think is dope, man. Like, give me some stories of shit I haven't seen, like of cultures I haven't seen. That's great. That don't get as much featured, as often featured as they probably should. So look, I love it, man. I love stuff like this. So I'm down for Dark Winds. I think that looks interesting. While I cue the next thing up, the next trailer is A24's next film, which I also think looks pretty damn interesting as well. 1 second.
It's called Bodies, Bodies, Bodies.
Yes.
And the log line here from IMDb: when a group of rich 20-somethings plan a hurricane party at a remote family mansion, a party game turns deadly in this fresh and funny look at backstabbing, fake friends, and one party gone very, very wrong.
This looks fun. Like, this looks really fun. I like it. And you know what? I think I get it, man. Pete Davidson has got a vibe to him. Like, I feel like I get why people really like him. I don't know why, like, Kim Kardashian is having sex with him. I don't give a shit about that. But that seems to be everyone's concern.
The rumor is that Pete Davidson has big dick energy because he has a gigantic penis.
Yeah, well, good for him.
That is the rumor. Look, Pete Davidson, he has this, like, one, he's a broken bird, right? Like, and women love a project. Jesus Christ, they love a project, right? And he has this, like, he has this, like, ambivalent swagger to him.
Yeah. That
just is like, you don't care about anything. Maybe, but but do you care about me?
He's like, and maybe.
Right. And that makes him, I think that's what makes him, like, attractive to people.
Yeah.
And he, you know, when Pete Davidson tries, like, I watch Saturday Night Live. I think I'm the only person that's willing to admit that they watch it on a regular basis. But y'all watch it. I know y'all watch it.
It wouldn't still be on if you didn't.
Right. When he is trying, and I think he is really trying now that he's off of drugs and shit.
Yeah.
Like when he's trying, he's a funny dude. Like he's
his stand-up
really
I thought his stand-up was pretty damn good. His last one, I really enjoyed it.
His stand-up is good, and given the proper material, he can act. Like as just butt-numbingly long as the King of Staten Island is, or at least felt, he was really good in it. Now he was kind of playing himself, so it's not really much of a stretch.
Right.
But he looks like he's playing a Pete Davidson type in this movie.
Yeah, and he looks like he's having fun.
Yeah, and sometimes that's all you need, man. And look, this movie looks fun to me. I love watching young people die. It seems great.
Yeah, I think this is, it looks like a fun satire. Everybody in in a weird thriller, whodunit kind of thing. Like it feels like a less serious version of Scream, and like that's cool. Like that works for me. But it just has a fun vibe to it that I think you'll get really sucked into what happens next as the story just unravels. So yeah, I'm okay with that. Look, man, I think A24, again, we've talked about this, is banging on all cylinders. They got that movie Men coming out and this, and they've got a number of things just in the hopper that all seem to be working. So I'm cool with it. And it looks and Lee Pace is in this as well, which is weird. Yeah. He's a great actor. He's a fucking psycho in everything. I love seeing him and stuff. He's absolutely nuts. So yeah, I'm here for it. So yeah, bodies. That looks pretty fun. Any other parting words? Did you watch the latest episode of Moon Knight?
I did. We can talk about it if you want.
All right, just real quick, because I want to get into the full series when that ends next week. I thought episode 5 was the best episode by far.
Yeah, it was, and lo and behold, he didn't suit up, right? Like there are more to these right. Superhero movies and comic book movies. There are more to them than just the guy in the suit. It also really, really helps if you have Oscar Isaac starring in your TV show, because Oscar Isaac is just a phenomenal actor. Like he really is, man. Jesus Christ, he's really that good. And I was actually sad at the end. Like I hope that person comes back, but I don't know. No spoilers or anything, but yeah, I was kind of sad at the end. It's a phenomenal episode, and boy, it does something that I can't remember ever seeing regarding those flashbacks. And the antagonist in those flashbacks. Somebody made that point too. I've never seen that before. I've never seen it before. You don't see those type of people, not from a religious aspect, but from from the gender aspect. You don't see a woman does something really fucked up, and
they don't show that.
You don't see that, man. You don't see that. Like I was shocked. Like I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, the stereotypical thing is, it's the dad and he's a piece of shit, and and it's the mom who's like, oh, your dad's flawed, and we don't worry about him. We'll figure it out together. Nope, not in this one.
Yeah, man.
Which is why it breaks his heart so much, I think. Right?
Yeah, man. Because that's your mom, right. God damn. But so, it was a phenomenal episode. I absolutely loved it.
Yeah, I thought it was great. I haven't been blown away by the series. I think a lot of people are. I'm not blown away by it. That doesn't mean I don't like it. It just means I'm not blown away by it. But I was thinking about the episode, and I was driving today, and I was like, the thing about the MCU that remains 100% true. I can only think of one example that that falls outside of this, which is even if you don't love the first appearance of a character, the second appearance of that character is always like, it's always ratcheted up 1,000%, right? Like they find the things that don't work or don't work as well, and they fill that in, right? Like it doesn't matter.
Now.
They do now, right? The only one that I can think of the second time, and actually it's not even true. The second appearance, I'm not talking about their second movie, their second appearance in the MCU is almost always like balls to the wall better than the first time if they had a kind of a mediocre start, right? Like I think Thor's start is like, it's fine. I like the first Thor, but it's like, it was done on a backlot. Like it was okay. But the next time you saw him, it was in Avengers. And he was fucking phenomenal, right? Like he was just like, holy shit. He was like, this character's awesome, right? And then, you know, they move forward. Like for people who were like, I didn't like Captain Marvel, like, cool. Like, I thought she was okay. When's the second time you saw her? In Endgame. She showed up like a fucking boss. Like, you know what I mean? It's like every time they get a second appearance, they make sure that you don't just like that character, you love those character moments. And like, for whatever I think of Moon Knight, I like Oscar Isaac's portrayal of that character, so I'm not worried about it, right? Like, I think the show's fine. This episode was phenomenal, and I think the fourth episode was very good. But I'm not blown away by the series in and of itself. I'm not worried about the future of Moon Knight, because I know wherever he shows up next is going to be fucking nuts. Right? Because once they have him established, they go balls to the wall with the characters. That's just what they do. And what they did in this new episode is they really took the most important and the most interesting thing about him, which isn't that he's a superhero. The most interesting thing about him is that he has multiple personality disorder. And they recognize that, and they spent the entire episode explaining why he has it. And that moment where you see it created is fucking wild. And it mattered. Like that to me, I was like, now it's not that I didn't get the character, but now like they're making you fall for that character. Like really, really be interested in who that character is as a person or as those people, right?
You know, it makes you appreciate it, because I've seen other movies with, you know, dissociative identity disorder, and a lot of people, look, I don't have it. I don't know about it to the point where I can speak intelligently about it. But a lot of other movies will be like, hey, can I talk to Steven now? Can I talk to Steve? Hey, Mark, can I talk to Steven? And then it'll just be there, right? Like he'll all of a sudden be Steven. No, you see when the doctor asks Mark, hey, you got to open up to Steven. Can I talk to Steven? You see the process through which those two personalities are interacting.
Right.
And the one personality is arguing with the other one. And now that personality is in control. Like you see that in this episode. And it's just like, wow, that's actually really cool to actually see, right? Like movies and television are a visual medium, right? Show, don't tell. And it was super interesting to actually see it. Like, and you gain a certain appreciation for it.
Right.
And like you said, you fall in love with both Mark and Steven. And, in this episode, because you feel for them and you see what they went through. Yeah, man. Yeah. Very, very powerful stuff.
Yeah. So again, like that notion of like, oh, it's all just like punching and kicking. Like, nah, yo, it's not. And that's what makes those characters interesting. And that's what makes those characters last. Because at the end of the day, when all of this gets wrapped up in the finale, what that character looks like leaving this series is going to be fascinating, of those personalities dealing openly with each other and like working as a team. Like Moon Knight, interestingly enough, will be his own team. Right? Like that's kind of an interesting perspective that we've never seen in the MCU before. I saw this like blurb that said that Taskmaster has been like in the comics has gone on record as saying he doesn't like to copy Moon Knight's fighting style because Moon Knight would rather take a punch than throw one. Like he was like, nah, I'm good. Like you just like getting punched in the face. Like You kind of crazy, dog. Like I don't need that. So, yeah, I think the way this ends and whatever they do next with Midnight Suns or Marvel Knights or whatever, and wherever he shows up next, I think it's going to be really fucking tremendous because then it's like, you know him, right? You know how this guy works, and it's going to be interesting and a bit weird, but also like you are now so you have fallen for those characters so deeply that you want to see how he progresses and how he interacts with other people. So yeah. So I'm in it, man. I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with the finale. All right, that is it for us. We will be back next week. By the time you see us, let me check my calendar. By the time
one of us will have seen Doctor Strange.
Yes, and the other one is Micah. So suck it. Whatever. You bought your ticket without even talking to me, you prick.
Well, you can't. You got to work. I don't.
Fair enough. Yeah, I will be seeing it on Tuesday. All right. We will talk to you guys next time.
See ya.